Okay, it's day 3 of PAX Unplugged, and we're getting the day started. First meeting today is with Restoration Games. We're getting a demo of Return to Dark Tower, and I guess I'm trying to remember the original game. I know I had it. I don't remember the gameplay that too terribly much. If anything, I just remember the sounds the tower made more than anything else. What about you, Steven?
I have some vague recollections of the game. I didn't own it, but I had several friends that did. I remember playing it as a kid. It came out in the early 80s.
Yeah.
It was a Milton Bradley game. And I remember the board was the circle.
Yep.
And as I recall, you traveled to different locations to collect keys or something because you wanted to unlock the tower.
Yep.
And the tower spun around in circles to face the player that was playing.
It was really loud. The gears, I remember just being like, just hearing those wheels turn, and it kind of, anytime it would start up, it would kind of startle everybody at the table.
Right. So I think that for me and for the other people that I've talked to, the thing that they remember about it is really just that it was dripping with theme, right? I mean, that was the key thing about that game, is that it just drove your imagination crazy trying to picture what was going on in this kind of really shallow world that they built up around a plastic tower and some sound effects.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I recall, the gameplay itself was not very deep.
Yeah.
It was a fairly gimmicky game, but that didn't matter to me when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite games.
Exactly. Like I said, we didn't own it, but I remember desperately wanting to go over to friends' houses that had it just so that I could play the game. I don't even know if I like the kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know that the original game is like a huge collector's item now,
yeah.
And especially a working copy of the tower. I'm really anxious to see the tower. We got a glimpse of it at the restoration booth the other day, and it looks beautiful. Stark difference from how it looked at Gen Con. We caught a glimpse of it at Gen Con, and it was literally just like a translucent white plastic kind of shell. It had no design to it at all. You could see the little doors and everything. So we're going to see a much more complete prototype here in a little while.
Yeah, and I think that in that brief discussion we had, that she said that it rotates multiple levels rotate now rather than just one.
It rotates multiple levels. It has little compartments that open up that you retrieve things from.
Well, I think that the challenge for them is going to be not so much just it's more like updating not only just the look and the feel of the game, but the gameplay is going to require a huge overhaul in order for it to maintain, I think, some sort of longevity with the current, atmosphere. The way that board games have evolved, especially in the last 15 years, much less since 1981 or whenever it came out. They've got quite a lot of work to do, I think, to maintain what it originally felt like and bring it up to date too.
Well, I think we're in good hands because Rob Daviau and Isaac Childress are the ones designing the Return to Dark Tower, and those are two of the hottest designers in the industry right now. So,
and very capable.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right. Cool.
So the main difference between this and the original, which some people really believed, is that it's cooperative instead of competitive. So ages ago, there was a tower, somebody defeated it. It wasn't that hard, but the tower slumbered in the bowels of the wreckage, and slowly the tower rebuilt itself. The tower has risen again. Quest that we're running, we're using the Tower Guardian as the Bane of Omens. He's an assassin who specializes in killing people who are under protection of a prophecy. So that is sort of 1/3 of the recipe for all the dynamic sort of scenario. The other part is we have a NPC companion. In this case, it's going to be, actually, it's not one of these companions, but it's Zeta the Ifrit, which I'll tell you about in a second. She has a way to get into the tower, so we're trying to work with her to get into the tower. So the way we win the game is by completing that main quest to get into the tower and then defeating the Bane of Omens. If we do that, we win the game. Unfortunately, we lose the game if any of the following happen. Either all 12 seals on the tower break, we've just taken way too long, he's enacted his master plan, all is lost. If we ever need to put a skull in the tower and we don't have any, then we lose the game. Basically, there's too many skulls there or trapped in the tower. We haven't been doing a good enough job of cleansing those, we lose the game. If there might be certain parts of the main quest that say they need to be done in a certain period of time where we lose the game, very explicit. If you don't do it, you lose the game. I don't think there's any in this main quest. And then the most common way to lose the game is corruption. So let's look at the heroes. You each play one of these heroes. You start with some warriors and some spirit. Those are the tokens on your board there. 5s and 1s. And also some of you start with some extra things. So Railed Hunter starts with a couple of potions, leather armor, etc. If you look down the center of the board, that's sort of a turn structure. I'll go through that when we actually start. And then you see on the right side here you have virtues. They're like your special abilities, unique to your hero. Your top one is always unique to which kingdom you're starting in. So you'll note that your kingdom has a certain amount of special type of terrain that you're particularly good at. You'll see it says gain 2 advantages in that terrain. Advantages are used in battle and to complete certain quests. All right. And then on the bottom there, you see space for corruption. Those are bad things that'll happen. If you ever need to pay something, or losses in battle, or an event happens and you lose something and you don't have enough to pay the cost, you pay all that you have and you gain a corruption. A corruption is a bad thing. And you'll notice you have only 2 slots for it. If you ever get a 3rd corruption, everybody loses the game. So that's the most common way. The other thing...
You have to define corruption as a bad thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
corruption is bad. So corruption is represented both individually on the board, but also on the board through these skulls. So at the end of each turn, we're going to drop a skull in the tower. Some of them will get trapped in there, and some will come out of the holes. There's 4 at the bottom to start, but as we open more seals, there'll be more openings. When a skull comes out in your kingdom, you must put it on one of your buildings. You see we start with some on our sanctuary and our citadel. If you're ever confused about which building is which, you can slide under it. Has the name underneath it there. So we start with skulls there. That represents corruption. So it's getting harder for us to do things in our villages, in our sanctuaries, and our citadels and whatnot. You see there's 3 slots for skulls on each building. If a building ever has 3 skulls and it would get a 4th, it is destroyed instead. If you see when you take a building off, underneath it says you gain a corruption. So that's another way you can gain a corruption. All right? And as the game progresses, more skulls come out. That's part of the issue. All right, so the last thing we do before we get started is everybody takes 1 skull. So pass them around. And starting with our first player is going to be the orphaned scion. So that's you. So you're going to drop 1 skull in the tower. Just drop it right on top there.
Oh,
all right,
great.
so that came out. So you're going to have to put that in one of your buildings, Flip. Now, I will say it makes sense to sort of double up a little bit because I'll talk about the actions in a second. But when you cleanse, you can cleanse all the skulls in one space. Okay. So it's easier to cleanse 2 skulls from one building than 1 skull on 2 different buildings.
Sure. I will put it
and
on.
being efficient with your actions is very important in the game. That's kind of the crux of the game. All right, drop your skull.
Dropping skulls.
All right, that one stayed in there. All right. Oh, and that one came out, so now you gotta put 1 in your skull. All right.
Sorry, brutal warlord. Nothing personal.
I got this.
Okay, so let's hear what our main quest is, shall we? The tower has awoken. The Bane of Omens, the assassin of kings, has taken residence. People begin to fear the shadows. Zeta, the Ifrit, has summoned you. Mortal, I have devised a ritual that will break the tower. You must bring me the components. She describes 5 treasures, each needed for her ritual. Return to Zeta when you have the treasures and one of you is worthy of her respect. So you see there's a treasure market over there with 3 treasures face up. Our to-do, that's our flavor text, our actual to-do list. This is what we need to do to get into the tower. We need to find these treasures. 3 treasures of crystal, 2 lamps, and a crown. Oh, it looks like we changed it to 5. Rob must have changed it to 5 last night. All right, we only need to find 5 treasures. Things are already looking up for us. 3 treasures of crystal and 2 lamps. Bring all 5 treasures to the peaks of the Jinn and have a hero with 5 virtues. The Peaks of the Djinn, that's our, actually he's going to use these. We'll use, so it's the Peaks of the Djinn is over there in the Northern Kingdom, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Bingo. So somebody gets all 5 of those treasures, and then they have 5 virtues, that's here. And quest in that space. We've opened the tower, and now we can go fight the Bane of Omens, all right? All right, so we have 2 side quests going. Treasures are hard to come by. The black market would help, but the smugglers are being harassed by brigands. Eliminate all brigands, and the smugglers will let you in on their secrets. So this is our Heroes Quest. So we're going to take one of these Heroes Quest markers. Quest in Utar's Barrows, which I believe is over there. Or no, there's over there. You can. There's supposed to be like, just put this Heroes Quest one there. That's fine. It's a long-term goal. So Utar's Barrows is like right in the middle there, I think. Flip's Kingdom, right now. Is that not Utar's Barrows?
Right here.
Yeah.
I don't even know my own kingdom.
Yeah, come on, get with it. All right. So if you quest in that space with no brigands on the board, you will gain the Smuggler's Virtue, which is a special virtue just for this quest, which will help you basically cycle through the treasure deck so you can find the treasures you need. All right. And then our Guardian's quest. So the Guardian is in trying to enact his own plans. The Bane of Omens has established nests in the muted forest. That's our Kingdom Dan. You must destroy it whatever is nesting there before it hatches. So quest in the muted forest and spend 12 warriors to destroy the nests. Okay, and I will explain obviously how you do that in a second. But you'll see there's the Heroes Quest is what you guys are doing to try and advance your cause. They'll help you. If you complete them, you get good stuff. Sometimes if you don't do it, a bad thing might happen. Guardian's Quest is what the Tower Guardian is trying to do. That's bad stuff. If you stop it, you'll prevent bad stuff from happening. You may not necessarily get anything good from it, but you will prevent the bad thing from happening. Orphan Scion goes first. So how do we do this? Orphan Scion. You'll see if you look at the center row, that's sort of very simple turn structure. Everybody's got a special thing they can do at the beginning of their turn. Orphan Scion, yours is the simplest of all. What does it say?
Special, gain 1...
Spirit. That's those little blue things are spirit. So that pile is right next to you there. Just gain 1 spirit, add it to your board. You're our like mystical sorcerer, Jedi type person, all right? Then you're going to calculate your movement for the turn. So everybody has a base movement of 3. You can spend 1 spirit to double your move. Spy Master, that's you, Flip.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
see you have the trusted maps over there on your left.
I do.
They increase your base movement, so your base movement is actually 4.
I know all the
You can
shortcuts.
spend a spirit to double it to 8 if you want to.
Okay.
So you're just deciding if you want to double your movement for the turn. You got to sort of plan out where do I want to go, etc., etc. You can break up your movement. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do 1 of those actions and 1 reinforce. And you can do them in either order, and you can break up your movement. So you could move a couple of spaces, do your reinforce, move a little more, take an action, then move a little bit at the end. That's all fun, all right? 1 action, 1 reinforce. Let's start with reinforce real quickly. Reinforce is anytime you're in a building, whatever that building says, you can do that thing there. It's basically do a thing, get a thing. So the thing you can get is based on which building you're in. And you'll see for each building there's 2 choices. There's the free option, you get something, or you can spend a little spirit to get something else. So in a citadel, you'll see its free thing has a little asterisk. That's at the bottom there. Everybody has a unique citadel ability. That's like your home base. You can do something special there.
And this is the Citadel.
Yeah, that's the citadel. If you're curious about which building's which, if you pick it up, you can see the names underneath it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the
board. Not
yeah,
on the,
correct, on the board. Yeah.
That helps.
And reinforcing is not an action.
It is not an action. It's something you get to do once per turn, but it's not technically an action. And then you see in your Citadel, you could also spend 5 spirit to gain a virtue. So that's, remember we talked about needing 5 virtues to win the game. So there'll be some other virtues you can get, but you also have 3 extra virtues you start the game with that are off to the side. Those are virtues you can gain during the game. If you're in a Citadel, spend 5 spirit, you gain a virtue. Pick which one you want and add it to your sheet, and then you get to use that for the rest of the game. All right? You'll see also a point of interest, Sanctuary. If you spend 5 spirit, that you can remove a corruption. So if you ever have like 2 corruption, you need to get rid of it, you can do that in the Sanctuary. All right? Bazaar. If you go to the Bazaar, you can get a gear. Those are those 6 items out there. Those are special items that stick around. They'll help you out. If you spend 2 spirit, you can get one of the treasures. So if that's that treasure market over there, if you ever take a treasure, you take it, slide the rest down, and fill it up from the top of the deck. All right? And then the last item in Sanctuary, for free, you can get 2 potions. Relic Hunter, you start with 2 potions. Those potions are one and done. You use them and discard them, they have an effect, and then they're done. All right? So that is pretty much it. Let's go through the actions real quickly. You'll see there's foes on the board. Those are those hexagons. If you're in a space, first of all, when you're moving, if you enter a space with a foe, you must stop moving. You battle to fight a foe in your space. So if you're in a space with one of those hexagon tokens there, you can fight that foe. That's handled on the app. I'll talk about that when we get to it. Very simple. Importantly, though, you'll see each foe has a level. So brigands are level 2, shadow wolves are level 3. You'll also see that you have advantages. So we talked a little bit, one of your virtues is based on your home kingdom. You have advantages in certain types of terrain. You also, if you look on your lower left of your hero board, you have advantages against certain types of foes. You'll see the brigands are both melee and humanoid. So if you have advantage against melee and they're in the right terrain, you would get 1 for the melee, 2 for the terrain, 3 advantages. Shadow wolves are beast and stealth. So, shorthand, if you have at least the number of advantages as you have as the level of the foe, you should be okay. Maybe suffer some losses, but not too bad. If you have more, you'll do really well. If you have less, it's a little bit riskier. You can still do okay, but you could also suffer some big losses. All right, so that's battling. And you'll notice actions, these heroic actions are how you mainly get spirit. So if you battle and defeat the foe, you get 2 spirit. All right. Cleansing. When you're in a space with a building with skulls, you can cleanse to remove all the skulls from your space. Orphan sign will just point out your starting virtue over there. When you cleanse, top right there, underneath the second one there, yeah. When you cleanse, you can remove a skull from one of the buildings of the same type anywhere in the board. So that's cleansing. You remove the skulls, you get 2 spirit. All right.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
For moving,
Yep.
can we?
Yeah, you can cross the rivers. They're just to designate the divisions between the kingdoms. But not like the original game. You can't go like anywhere. Not the Badlands. These are rivers. All right. And the last thing you can do is quest. That's again, it'll tell you like quest in this space to do this. You can't just quest on your own. It has to be someplace there to quest. When you do quest, you get 2 spirit. All right. So Orphan Sign, what's your pleasure? What are you thinking about?
That's a good question.
So one of the things, I mean, I'm not going to try and give too much advice, but I'll give you a little bit. So being efficient with your actions is really useful in the game, and also as the game progresses, we're not going to obviously get through a full game, but you're not going to be able to like keep the board clean. Like stuff's going to go to heck in a handbasket pretty quick. Keep your eyes on the prize as far as the quests go, and you'll be all right. And just sort of manage the rest as best you can.
Oh, yeah.
What are the quests?
Yeah, what were the
So the
main
quests,
quests?
the main quests are trying to get those treasures. So was there any crystal treasure or lamps in the market right now?
No, there are not.
All right, but if you're buying treasures, that's one of the ways you'll cycle through the treasure deck to find those treasures. So you need to get those 5 treasures and quest in the Peaks of the Djinn.
And something that's crystal is defined by the
It'll
type.
be
It's
the name,
entitled.
and yeah.
And lamps as well.
Treasures and
Yeah.
we quest here, and then we
Yeah, with 5 virtues.
with 5 virtues.
Yeah, somebody has to have 5 virtues.
Just the person that goes
Yeah,
there
it's the
has
person
to-
that takes the quest
And that's how we
action.
get in.
Yes.
And then we gotta defeat.
Then you gotta fight the
Okay,
Pavlovian.
yeah.
And then so Utar's Barrows over there, that's we have to defeat all the brigands on the board first, and then go over there and quest. So certainly defeating brigands is something to keep an eye on. And then over here in the Muted Forest is discard 12 warriors to eliminate the nests.
And which ones are hills for the colorblind kid here?
So there's the legend there, the icon you see, like the
The icons, okay. So
Yeah.
these are mountains.
mountains, yeah, the hills,
Hills, okay,
exactly,
got it.
yes.
Thank you.
And these are warriors, right?
Yes, sorry, those are warriors in the bluest spirit. That's 5s and 1s. They have little notches on the
Got it.
warriors.
Warriors have no spirit.
Okay, and it looks like the quests on the board.
So that's, I wasn't going to tell you about that till later,
Okay.
but that is a special action you can do at any point during the game. So you'll see there's 4 niches on the tower. At any point during the game, if you go in a space adjacent to that niche, you see there's a little arrow there. It says quest and spend 25 warriors. We changed the name of it. It's like the Ritual of Undoing or something like that. Basically, take a skull from the pool, put it in the niche, spend 25 warriors. And what that does is when you actually go to fight the Bane of Omens, the more times you can do that, the weaker he'll be. If you don't do it at all, he's going to be pretty tough. Do it all 4 times, might be an easy battle at the end. If you can even get 1 or 2 on there, that'll certainly help out. But obviously, having 25 warriors to
Yeah, I was
spend is
reading that.
not
I was like,
super
okay.
easy. So one of the things you could do to help out
Yeah,
is you're good at cleansing, right?
Yes.
So you could cleanse in your space right now if you wanted to.
Okay.
And get rid of all those skulls, and then also 1 skull on some other citadel and one of the other things. And what that does is, very important rule, I almost forgot. When you reinforce, if there is a skull in the building where you're reinforcing, you must first spend spirit equal to the number of skulls before you reinforce. So that's why I was going to say, if you cleanse and you can remove a skull from somebody else's citadel, that might let them reinforce there if they wanted to. If they have a special reinforce they want to do on their citadel, for example.
Okay. And I either cleanse or I move. It's not.
No, you're gonna. So first you did your special. Now you calculated your move. You can move 3 spaces, and you can break up your movement in any order. And you can do 1 action and 1 reinforce in either order.
You could act first then.
You can act first and then reinforce, or vice versa.
Okay, so I'm going to cleanse this building then.
Okay. And then you're going to pick one other citadel to remove a skull from.
I can probably get rid of both of these.
Okay.
I'm not much on spirit, so cleansing might.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
that's his special. So you cleanse on your
Let's
current
take it off
space,
yours.
but his special
Cleansing
ability.
for me, I think is going to be a little bit tough.
All right, so we return those to the pool when they're cleansed. And when you cleanse, you gain 2 spirit, so make sure you take your spirit. Hey, look at that. How much spirit do you have?
I have 6.
6? And you're in a citadel, huh?
Oh, I am. So I can gain a virtue.
You could. I'm not saying you should. but you
Like if you want to, I don't know.
You can also use that spirit to buy treasures, don't forget. So you can move to your bazaar and buy a treasure.
You can only do
Or no,
Can you only do
1 reinforce, yeah.
So once you get 1 treasure using the bazaar.
Correct, yes.
So you're allowed to use the spirit that you gain from cleansing.
What's that?
You're allowed to use the spirit that you gain from cleansing to
Do any, yeah, you can
to
just use
spend
it.
to get that bonus.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, and I'll be like.
Now, after everybody goes, do you do another?
After each turn, so as soon as you're done, we're gonna drop the
Oh,
spell.
okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, so, all right, I'm gonna gain a virtue.
Okay, so just put that back in the pool there.
Alright.
And pick which one you want.
I'm gonna pick the resolute.
Okay, what was
When
that
a
one?
skull emerges in your current kingdom, you may return it to the pool.
Nice,
It's not
okay.
bad at all.
And so you still have 3 movement, you haven't moved yet. If you want to move somewhere for next turn, you can. Or the other thing to keep in mind is you're ever on another space with another hero, you can trade everything but spirit, although you have a citadel special power that lets you trade spirit. And then the other thing is, if you're ever battling a foe, if there's another hero on your space, you can use their advantages while you're battling, and they can also help pay for the losses.
Okay.
If you're ever questing on a space, and there's another hero in your space, they can contribute to the cost. So for example, we need to spend 12 warriors in the mooted forest. If 2 people are there, they can each throw in 6 warriors. For example.
Like, well, you're fighting against.
Yeah, completing the quest together.
So
In this case, squashing nests.
So we need to grab these treasures for one of the quests.
Yep.
Right.
You want me to put another tea
So
bag
where do I
back
get
here?
treasures?
At the bazaar, that's the reinforcement in the
So that
bazaar.
would be this, right?
Yep.
All right. So if I moved here,
You could set yourself up for next turn.
Yeah.
You can do that first and then move and do other stuff. like you're saying.
Yep.
Okay.
So drop your skull.
I'm gonna drop this one.
Uh-oh. I just realized I timed out here. And it didn't read because I was timed out. That's interesting. I have not timed out on this before. Okay. Okay.
Still a prototype, folks.
Well, that we're spending.
Hopefully this will get
spending a
going.
decent
All right.
amount of time
Oh, yeah.
to
Your
stuff.
turn, Brutal Warlord.
So I'm definitely going to start by doing a cleanse here. I
Okay.
can remove all the skulls.
Yep.
Which is going to be 2. That'll
And then you
be
get
2 virtue or 2
Spirit, yeah.
Spirit. And then it's a matter of moving. What is this guy
That's a bad
a
guy.
bad guy?
That's brigand.
You had a special that you could have moved them to space at the beginning of your
I
turn.
could
Yes,
I
that
could have
is true.
shifted if I
Yeah, you're
wanted.
already.
But if you're in a space with a foe, the only thing you can do is battle.
Yep.
But I could have moved him to start with, right?
You could have.
So can I do that now?
Sure,
Right.
So
sure,
if I
sure.
move him 2
cheater.
over to the bazaar, and then I do my movement, I can move 3
Yep.
and be here with him.
Yep.
But you don't cleanse.
No, you
I
can
would
do
be
it.
able to
You're not. He's not
Yeah,
battling.
I'm not battling.
Well, that's right, you
I'm
can do
getting
everything
in
out of
position. I'm getting in position to battle
You
next
can
time.
do that.
Is that not the right thing?
Well, why are you moving him over to there now?
Just so that we're together, so
Okay.
I'm already on the bazaar line.
Here's what you don't know about the game yet. It's first time playing. So there will be events that pop up.
Okay.
And if you're on or adjacent to foes, they'll do things to you.
Okay,
And if you, at the beginning of your next turn, you can move them over then.
that's true.
So there's no reason to
So
like
starting-
camp out with
so
him
being
for
with
a
him
round.
doesn't
Yes.
really benefit
No.
me. Okay.
If anything, it's likely to be, there's a chance that it could be bad. There's no upside to being in the same
Okay.
space with him now.
That makes sense.
So if you couldn't do it at the beginning of your next turn, it might make sense to do that, but
But I can shift him
You
there at the
can,
beginning
so.
and
I
go
would try
ahead
to
and
get
kill
him
him.
enforced.
Let's grab a treasure.
So what looks good to you?
What's our titles?
So those black things are always going to be more advantages.
Karma's Carpet, Scroll Visibility,
I'm assuming certain
Scroll
treasures are better
Strength.
for certain characters.
Well, I mean, it depends if you want to double up on
Discard
like what
to gain
your
5 melee
your
abilities.
forte is, or if you want to spread out your,
Gain one
do more of a
advantage
jack of
versus
all trades or
magic.
not.
This is really cool, by the way.
Thank you.
I imagine stealth that
I know I'm not playing, but I
past
was-
enemies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the strength just because my guy
Yeah, go ahead.
Just being there watching it work.
punches people in the face seems to be what he does.
So can any player do it?
Considering
I
I just
know-
tried
Yeah,
to,
so
Yeah, yours.
usually what we do is, we put the tablet, like when I'm playing
considering I
with the
just tried to
tablet
like
at home,
spend
we
the
just
night
put it
with
up
a
and
foe in
people
my
just,
camp, like
and you can actually,
know how
even,
I'm playing
they're
this.
playing it
Yeah,
to
oh,
your TV or whatever too, so.
And we deal the next
pre-order
treasure.
tab win.
We deal the next treasure as soon as he takes it, right?
Yeah, you slide down and then
Yep.
fill in the gap.
Got it.
artwork, I have to try to
Oh,
play tag,
right.
right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so now you're gonna drop your skull?
Meanwhile, I've got like Raceland or something. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
Did I miss it or did it fall out?
No,
No,
you
it
did
came
that.
out in
Okay.
Dan's Kingdom.
Place your skull.
So the way that works is that the app registers every time and it starts rotating gears depending on how many times
It does events and it'll move the tower and it does all sorts of things.
now do we still have the option of placing the skull on a building or a enemy?
No, just buildings now.
Okay.
Enemies level up in different ways. They're by
Okay.
events. So we do have our first event. The Bane of Omen uses a black mark to pick his target. Give the black mark to the player going next. Sorry. You'll notice it fits perfectly in your corruption slot there.
Sorry, Dan.
That is a good fit.
So it does count as a corruption. It does count as corruption, and you can give that to another hero by paying 1 spirit. But one of you will always have it. You can't get rid of it in a.
I'll keep it.
Okay. All right. It is your turn. Dan.
Alright, so my thing is draw a potion.
Yep.
Oh wait, can I give these to someone on the same spaces?
You can trade potions. Absolutely.
I'm gonna discard this to move a foe 2 spaces. So I can move it here.
If that's 2 spaces, yeah.
Alright, I'm
Sure.
in the mountains.
Yep.
I gain 2 advantage
Yep.
in the mountains and 1 against stealth.
Yep.
So I have
That
that.
looks like you're rocking
so
and
I'm
rolling.
gonna battle.
Okay.
So if we'd been teamed up and efficient, if I knew he wanted to do that, I could have moved his foe without him discarding that card.
Yes.
Yes, you would have
You
actually
could
thought
have,
through your
yes.
turn.
I'm figuring this out.
Yeah, no, so-
Give me a round.
It is not just
I
cooperative.
hope
It's
so.
like highly cooperative.
Yeah.
Like figuring out the best way to maximize your actions is super important.
Everyone's quintessential for the
So the way we do battle action is, this is obviously our beta app, but there's a battle screen, so you're gonna tap the battle screen. And if you ask nicely, I'll show you, I think I can show you a couple of screens from the work in progress. So we're gonna choose the Shadow Wolves. We're gonna hit fight. And then, oh yeah, the tower knows that we're fighting.
What?
So the Shadow Wolves are level 3, so tap 3 of those little buttons there. It's like cards. So each foe has a virtual deck of cards, and it's a dynamic deck. So actually, as the foes level up or level down, the whole deck moves up or down. But each card has like 7 levels of card in it. So what you do is, right now we're at essentially level 0, he's picked 3 of the cards. And now he's gonna spend those advantages by raising cards up, essentially leveling the cards up, making them better for him. So right now he has lose 9 warriors, lose 4 warriors and 1 spirit, and no losses. But you have 3 advantages to spend.
right.
So you tap a little arrow next to one of the cards to improve it. So it went down to lose 3 warriors, so you could do it again, or you could do a different one.
So you get
Now I
3
will tell
advantage.
you have 3 advantages. Now I will tell you one of the things, there's a little bit of strategy to it. You can spread out your losses so you minimize your losses, or if you improve certain cards enough times, you actually get like treasures and spirit and good things. So deciding which losses you want to absorb and when you want to try and go for reward is.
This one.
All right, and then you got 1 more to spend. All right, so it ended up pretty good. Again, with the 3 advantages made a big difference for you. You ended up losing 3 warriors.
Alright.
So you lose those 3 warriors.
Interesting.
Just back in the pool.
Like a full.
This, I believe, is the pool, yeah.
Yeah, and then remove the foe from the board.
Alright.
You just put it back over there on the, over there. I think I have these switched, just so it's.
Okay.
And then make sure you get your 2 spirit.
I've got a brigand sitting here in front of me. Is that a mistake?
He's just a friend.
I don't know if it's supposed to be on the board or not, but it's fine.
He's your
Well, there's one
companion.
right here, so.
Yeah, I don't
So I
remember.
defeated him.
Yep,
Okay.
I haven't moved yet,
correct.
and I haven't done reinforce.
Correct.
So I want to come here.
Yep.
And I want to spend my 2 to get a treasure.
Okay, sounds good.
Dan, thanks for showing Jesse a good turn. I appreciate that.
Well, I had 2 turns to think about it, so that's
Right.
So is there supposed to be a brigand in every
Oh, yeah,
quadrant?
what?
Is there supposed to be a brigand in every quadrant?
No, no.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Like I set it up for the
brigand
photo
envy,
shoot.
is
Now
Well,
it's-
no, just, you know.
It maybe, honestly, I don't remember.
Okay. So
this out exactly as a part of it?
I'll take this
Sorry,
thing,
that
and
virtual
then does
deck
this,
right
What's
does
that?
that just flip up?
Yeah.
And then you have to take one of the open ones, you can't go
Yeah,
anywhere.
correct.
Okay. And we're trying to dig for those treasures
Yep.
that we need to get the quest.
Oh, this is
And
important.
then where does this go? This is
Just
gonna-
anywhere next to your board is
This
fine.
allows me to disclaim
Yep.
five
Yep.
stealth advantages.
All right, now you're going to drop a skull in the tower.
You want to do it for me, Jason?
Yeah. Sweet. Tell me when.
Yeah, anyway.
Ready?
All right, and we had an
That's a good
event.
one.
Nice.
So the brigands are rated. Heroes lose 4 warriors for each brigand on or adjacent to their space.
Well, there we go.
Now move each brigand onto the bazaar in their current kingdom.
Ruining my plans.
And here's the last part. So move that to your bazaar. And here's the last part. If they are already on the bazaar, destroy the bazaar. So if you had moved them, that would have been. I was.
Definitely no brigand envy here.
It's not completely random. It's dynamic. So based on the event.
So guys,
If
I'm
there's
learning
certain
how to play
actions
the
they
game the way I
take,
thought.
which tower
against your
guardians are
instincts.
involved. It's all.
This is a bad idea.
I was not on the team. We almost lost.
I like that.
All right, and the wolves are hunting too, though. Heroes lose 1 spirit for each shadow wolf on or adjacent to their space. That's you, Dan.
I mean, well, I can set up 3 copies and this.
Move each shadow wolf 2 spaces towards the player with the black mark. So he moves into your space.
Darn, I should have got the one that said that you start, if you start a turn on the floor, bump the ball.
There you go. And now we're going to open a door.
What?
Open a door?
Oh, wait, this one
No,
is
it
the one that's
doesn't.
on
I
the
get it. I get it.
So we don't know which one it's gonna do?
Oh, it's right.
Yeah, and it's super cute and like I don't know. It sounds like you play with
So
family.
this is
you have kids
good.
and
All
like on
right. So yours, I think, is glowing, right? Your top door there, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to slide that door out. All right. So you have a glyph facing you. I'll take the door. Now we can talk about glyphs.
That was cool.
So you'll see behind some of the doors are openings, more openings where skulls can come out, and some are glyphs. There's a glyph corresponding to each of these things here. Each of those not movement, but each of the other 5 glyphs are on there. So that's the quest glyph, right?
Yeah.
What that means is if you take that action while that glyph is facing your home kingdom, not wherever your hero is, but if it's facing you,
Gotcha.
you're going to drop 2 skulls in the tower instead of 1.
Oh.
So that's like the tower, like looking out and seeing your plans and what you're doing and whatnot. All right? Your turn, Flip.
I was gonna go to the bazaar before those pesky brigands. So I've got the hero quest tile on my map.
That's like the Utar's Barrows ones, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can only do that quest when we defeat all the brigands on the board.
Got it. So I guess I'll go take on some brigands. So
right.
I'm gonna move 4 because I've got swift feet. And I guess
So brigands are melee and humanoid. And they're not in your favored terrain, or are they? I can't see.
they are not. They're on
Okay.
the 3 rivers. But can I shop in the bazaar before I fight?
No, you cannot.
Okay. All right. So.
Do you have any advantages? What's your lower
No,
left
in the
or your
hills-
versus lower left is versus humanoid, right?
Yes.
So
versus
they're humanoid, so you have
yes.
1 advantage.
Yeah, gain 1 advantage. Okay.
Okay.
You've got this.
So I will give you the app. Go ahead and hit that battle screen. Pick brigands. Hit fight in the lower right there. You're going to pick 2 cards. Oh, the tower knows we're fighting. What'd you get?
Lose 6 warriors, lose 8 warriors.
All right, so you can spend your 1 advantage to reduce that. I would reduce the 8, obviously.
Yep.
What
Lose
is-
3, so
All right,
now I'm
so
down
that-
to 9.
Yep.
Okay. And I only have 8 warriors.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you only have 8 warriors?
I lost 2 to those stupid brigands before.
All right,
Prime
so
example of what happens when I don't have
yeah.
enough.
So guess what happens? You're going to lose all 8,
Oh no.
and then you're going to gain one of these corruptions. Here, take
It
the
was the day
corruption.
before
Any corruption.
payday too. You know.
Pick a corruption.
Okay.
So choose your poison. Not that one. Definitely not that one. I did magic for 20
I can
years.
fly now. Awesome.
So you're gonna go. What did you end up getting? actually?
Glyphs make you drop 2 extra skulls, not 1.
That's basically fine.
What is that? Like
Yeah.
haunted or no?
Flying towards death.
What's it called?
It's tempted.
tempted, right?
So I have no glyphs facing me. So right now I'm just standing at 1.
Well, how do you get heroes? You can reinforce in a bazaar to get heroes. That's a good way to get heroes. Warriors, I should say.
So I did defeat the brigands?
Yes, you did defeat
did.
it as long as, so there are some, rarely you can have a situation where you're forced to withdraw, essentially.
Okay.
So I probably should have mentioned this, but this is kind of important. I wanted to see what we did here. So after you pick your first battle card, you can withdraw. All right, and suffer no losses, but you don't defeat.
Okay.
But
Are there cards that say retreat automatically in there? I thought
at the
there was.
upper levels,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Some of the other foes, like the Bane of Omens has some of those. All right, so you do still have your reinforce, so you can reinforce in the.
Yeah, I can. Now I'm done getting my ass kicked. I can shop. Okay. So free 1 gear
Yep.
and
You don't have
I'll
two
take a
spirit.
treasure.
Oh, you didn't
so-
get your 2 spirit for defeating the brigand, so make
Oh.
sure. So you could get a treasure if you wanted to.
Well,
Look
it
at it
cost
this way,
me.
Flip. You're not only getting your ass kicked, you're getting everybody's ass kicked.
Oh, that's so
It's a team
sweet.
How
game.
could you? I mean, I've been so. I've been a team player, and he's over here just hurting.
Yeah, exactly right.
Look, I'm
I
going
mean,
with
if
my
you-
heart. You need to avoid
Sign
going
up
with
to be
your
notified
heart.
when the Kickstarter
This
starts.
will learn.
I'll give you the active player 50 millimeter
All right.
coin
So
Yes.
gear.
for free.
Yes.
So just go to our
Where?
website and
Ooh.
sign up.
Okay.
I cannot double up
You
on
go to
trust.
return
You
to
can.
our
No,
power.
you absolutely
Okay.
can. Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm gonna fly around. I've got base move of 6
We want
now.
people to have fun.
Oh, wait, no, wait.
5 that would be right.
Yeah.
Enjoying it, experiencing it. Oh, yeah.
I don't like cooperative games, and I even like it.
This
My
is
wife-
this
my
is
wife
a-
is the same
this is
way,
a
actually.
cooperative game. It's got some things going for it that I like a lot. Like,
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
this balance quite a bit. It feels better than a lot of.
I'm gonna
games
take-
that sit down.
I think that's why, like,
I'm gonna take
like,
Blessed
serious, like, I'm very
Scepters.
open. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
like-
reinforce, remove 1 skull from the building under space.
I don't like Gimmick. I don't like
I like
Eldritch
cooperative
Horror.
games because I can solo them.
Yeah. And you know, people used to solo
And
Return.
I'm going
used to solo
to
Dark Tower, even though it was competitive,
spend
but they just
two-
You,
ended
you
up
can only do
being
one or the
more
other. You
with-
can't do both.
What?
Yeah.
The
I
ring,
mean-
you can't get the gear and the treasure.
Oh.
The game has been in development.
All right, drop your skull, Flip. Give Flip a skull to drop.
Dropping
As I
skulls.
thought, I was like,
Here we go, guys.
that's the game I want in my life. That's like that.
All right,
I love
it
how
stayed
we
in
all
the tower.
pause.
Yeah,
The tower.
hold your breath. But we do have more brigands, unfortunately. Another brigand has spawned in the Emerald Expanse in the south.
Is this the hard mode still?
I don't know. He tweaked it last time. He changed it to 5
Gee,
treasures.
that's where
Yeah.
I am.
This isn't even the advanced game.
It's like they're drawn to you.
Yeah.
It could be like what?
All right, it's your turn.
Yeah, to me it's all
Orphan
afternoon.
So I have to deal with these brigands before I do anything, right?
Correct.
So
Okay.
in the base game, it's
So-
going to be these 4 characters, and then in the advanced game expansion, we have.
Doesn't look like I have
two
any
other
advantages.
characters, which are
They aren't magic foes.
so we
They're not
have
in the
something
desert.
called the Haunted Recluse, and
yeah,
the
so I guess I have
sculpt
battle.
and art on it is really freaking cool. It's got like. It's just awesome.
All right, so battle brigands.
Yeah, I mean, she's just really like.
Fight.
Well, I mean, our artist Christina is just.
Just tap a card to reveal.
O'Toole, and then.
Yeah,
no.
you're going to tap
This
2.
is,
Tap 2. Okay.
And then
Yeah,
you
this
can
is, by
decide,
Garrett
do you
Kiner.
want
Orders by
to
Garrett
withdraw,
Kiner.
or can you absorb the
Yeah,
loss?
that's match. But then yeah, Christina is doing all our character.
So what-
art,
what does
all
it
of
say?
our-
I have one
she's-
card that says no
she's-
losses, one
did I
that
tell you
says
about
lose
her?
4 warriors.
Oh, so that's a pretty good result.
That
You
is
can do
really
that.
good.
So yeah, I would just
Tap
keep
the
it.
mill.
Woman
Tote.
living in
Oh,
Malaysia.
okay, yeah.
She
Yeah,
rock
Dawn
climbs
Ryan.
and she does.
Alright,
She's
no.
just badass on her
Losses.
own.
So no losses.
And
And
she's
I lose
really
4
young.
warriors.
Yeah, so you're gonna lose, it's the total of all the cards. So,
Okay.
and then the final app, it's gonna aggregate them.
Exactly.
So then you just lose the 4 warriors,
At 20, freaking 4,
and then you
I am
I
too.
despise her.
get 2 spirit. You got your 2 spirit for defeating the
Yeah.
foe, and give me that brigand token.
I expect, like, she's never done a board game before, so we kind of feel like we discovered her with board games.
And then you're gonna,
And
you can
I
still
expect
move and
that she will-
reinforce.
Okay. Well, can I do the
Just
bizarre?
Jason Teller, our director, and Lindsay.
All right.
We work hard to have a diverse slate of talent contributing to our projects. We really do care about being part of inclusive gaming.
It's the second time I've done that to you.
All right, I do have some bad news. We have an event. The brigands have leveled up.
Designers.
So what that means is the deck
Minority
got a
groups.
step harder, which basically you treat that as a 3.
It's
You still draw only 2
in a
cards.
very
but-
positive way and contribute to that in a positive way.
The wolves are hunting. Uh-oh, Shadow Wolf. Heroes lose 1 spirit for each Shadow Wolf honor adjacent to their space.
Sorry, buddy.
1 spirit, but you don't have it, so you're gonna take a corruption.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can always pay a spirit to get rid of those.
Yeah, you gotta look at it, dude.
Once you get it.
He was talking about it the entire
Okay.
night of the whiskey social.
A
all
base
night.
movement is
Good.
Is there a way to get
I don't
rid
know
of
the names of the other
corruption?
guys.
Yeah, you reinforce in a sanctuary. and
Oh,
spend
yeah,
five spirit.
look at that.
Never.
Spirit.
All right, we have a door that's opening up.
No, I'm good.
No
I
way.
actually should go up and help with the booth now, so.
She hasn't played.
I think I'm going here.
Well, they're all going
never
right
played
now.
tower.
Give it, let it settle.
We have a back end.
Is
app
it
that
still you,
mimics
Flip?
the tower behavior.
Looks like I'm
Never
going.
mind.
Okay, so flip,
I know.
open the door.
Alright.
Are you back in your own good
Slide it up.
So you need to deal with those
I better
skulls,
get
I'm
one of
afraid.
these for free.
Yeah.
It's raining
So
skulls.
yes.
Oh, I
So
can't wait. I
each
can't
level has a separate drum that
Yeah.
rotates independently.
That's super cool.
So you'll see, well, there's a little bit more to come.
That was so
You'll
upsetting.
Well,
see.
we work with factory on a tower and to be clear, like.
So I put it
normally
on
you're
any-
Any
locking
building
down
in your kingdom, yeah.
How many could a drum fit?
Design and then the
A
gear,
lot.
like the
Yeah,
internal.
so you can like.
But
slide
we'll
it.
see,
actually are hanging on
it's
the
never
factory before the
quite
Kickstarter.
that bad. I mean, it's
So,
bad in
like,
its
we're
own
making-
way, but it never is like
the
10
writing
to
is
come out. That doesn't happen.
tight, but like we're already at
Because
that
we
point.
can
We're like, this is
control-
like
Tight in that sense. I mean, like.
You're
it's
How
very
often we
impressive.
call, we call
Yeah,
it flushing the
tight
tower,
is awesome.
basically. So,
Even if it's
Okay.
like November.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
Now I can
3 months
move.
in December,
Uh-oh.
That's amazing.
tower's gonna rotate, this is what I was about to talk
Well,
about.
it's January,
All right.
February, March, April, May, June, July.
Wait.
I got a lot.
Oh, were you not done with your turn? I think you were
I
done.
think I was done. Yeah, I was done.
Okay.
He now
Alright.
wants to see the
Come
tower
ready to
rotate.
make it like
Yeah.
a super smart.
Yeah.
So you see how they rotate, some, they'll push the cubes to the open spaces too. To reinforce.
So I'm gonna go ahead and battle
Okay.
in here.
Yeah.
Does that give you
I get a
advantage?
benefit because I can ignore 3.
Yeah,
of
sure.
those.
And then you also,
Yeah, except
how many
it's not down.
advantages do you get there? It's melee and
Yeah,
it's the
no, it's great
forest,
to meet
right?
you.
Melee and the
I look
forest.
forward
So that's
to
3, and I assume you're not gonna use your scroll of strength on
Okay,
this.
Justice card.
Probably
Move
not.
your card away.
Battle. I'm going brigands, right?
Yep.
I have justice card.
Okay. Fight.
Pick
Is
2,
that how that works?
Two of
We are.
these.
We share a single soul.
and then you have 3 improvements to spend,
That's
so
what
you
sounds
probably
good.
want
Yeah.
to minimize that, yeah.
We were planning on having some.
You can keep going again, or move to a different one.
Okay.
Two.
You got one more to spend.
Great job.
And so I can cycle that one.
Either one, yeah.
I don't use Facebook.
All right, there you go. So you landed up losing 2, but then you ignore that with your right arm. So it didn't cost you anything.
So,
He goes away,
but
you
the
get
March
2
winner and I,
spirit.
you know,
Okay.
we see our
You
restoration.
said to reinforce there, you have to be completely.
There you go. Tell me when.
Yeah, whatever.
No event on that one?
Good.
Your turn, Dave.
So I have to battle that guy because he's there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna. I have to draw a potion here.
Yep.
So I'm going to. I've got 1 advantage against stealth.
Yep.
I'm gonna discard this. and get
Okay,
5
so
more.
make a discard pile over there by the market. Just make a discard pile for the treasure. Just anywhere, you can put it behind the gear if you want, it's
So
fine.
I have 6.
Alright, so normally this would be a very bad fight, but it turned into a very good fight for now. You'll see, yep, any 3. And you'll see, it's pretty bad, but as you start spending those 6
Why was
advantages,
this one so much worse than the other? Was it just?
well, he's level 3.
What was it?
And he's a little bit harder too. And I did the shadow wolves level up? I don't think they did, but you might have just drawn really crappy cards. That's also possible.
I got 6.
So some cards are worse than others, yeah.
1, 2, 3,
I'd go top.
4.
Now, look, hold on. So you have 2 more advantages to spend, right?
Yeah.
So you can certainly get rid of those, right?
Then I only get 3
You
points.
could like get something good.
Yeah, let's do
Because you
that.
said some lines will end up
Can you
with something.
can you do it again and it's something even better?
Are there any other shadow wolves on the board?
I don't think so.
So you can. So if you see the numbers, they go up to 8 essentially.
Okay.
That's when it's maxed out. We have a visual
But
cue
if I
for
do
it.
this
in the
again,
final
will it
game.
theoretically get possibly better?
It'll get better. It just may not be in a better way. Like that's a good result, just not for you because there's no other shadow wolves on the board.
So I'll do it, just see what happens.
Yeah, that's it.
Change.
All right. So you're gonna get. So you're gonna lose 5 warriors. Lose your 5 warriors, but now you gain 4 spirit. 2 for the card and 2 for defeating him.
Okay.
And remove him from the board. And you got the rest of your turn. Hey, are all the brigands off the board, by the way? I was just noticing that.
I think so.
Interesting.
Your brigand list.
So.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. And if we're rid of the brigands, they.
You totally got this, guys.
We would just do one twice.
The Utar's Barrows one.
Yeah.
To aid the smugglers.
I mean, really, do we even need to conquer the tower?
You gotta get there before the month ends, though. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you might have one more turn. I'm not
I
sure.
could
We'll see.
get there.
Before the month ends and the smugglers go away.
Wait, we're dropping a
So
skull.
finally, I'm ready this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Ready?
Oh. So,
Did that come out this?
when a skull emerges in your current kingdom, you may return
Yep,
it
so
to
you
your
return.
pool.
Oh, there you go. That virtue's helped
Thank
you
you.
out.
Yeah.
On the downside, the month has ended. So you have 5 more months to defeat the Guardian. That was 1 month. Each game lasts up to 6 months. So few witnesses remain after the nests hatch in the muted forest. The widow-made assassins will emerge in due time. So we can remove that quest. And the brigands have driven the smugglers out of the Eastern Kingdom. A valuable resource is lost. So you failed to complete both of the side quests in time. That's okay.
That's
It's your
the
first
Utar's
game.
Barrows.
It's a learning game. It's a learning game.
It's important
I
to
was
complete
going
them,
right over there.
Yeah, I mean, not necessary.
If you wanna win.
You're not going to be able to complete all of them. It's the same thing. You're not going to be able to complete all of them, deciding which ones to do and which ones you can let slide. So for my part, when I'm playing this, like I think the smuggler virtue is really important because it lets you cycle through the treasure deck very quickly, and it gives you an extra virtue, which you need. So. All right. So we have 2 new side quests starting this month. So Zeta the Efreet tells you to seek Berat the Magus. He can be of use. Berat's equipment is all old, Zeta tells you. If you can find him an enchanted item, he'll be able to finish his research and join you. So here's Berat the Magus. He's a companion that can help you. So if you go ahead and complete this quest, he will join you. Quest in the Weeping Waters. And spend 1 treasure for Berat to gain him as a companion. Weeping Waters is over there. And then agents of the Bane have infiltrated the village of Duwani, spreading misinformation and paranoia. They will turn the people against you. You must put an end to their whispers. So quest in Duwani and spend 3 spirit to root out the agents of the tower. So I will tell you, Berat, if you get him, he'll join you as a companion. If you don't, by the end of the month, he'll join the tower. So that's bad.
And how do we get him?
So that's where you quest and discard 1 treasure in the Weeping Waters.
Okay.
How long is it?
It's there's like a range because we didn't want people timing out exactly when.
Okay.
So it's roughly 2 rounds, but not always exactly 2 rounds.
All right, I'm going to move 2, and I'm going to cleanse the sanctuary. So, I'm going to remove these 2 skulls, gain 2 spirit, and then I can continue my movement.
So this is a sort of a quick look at the.
I'm going to end in Duwani and reinforce where am I? I'm in the village.
It doesn't like doing it on the phone, ironically. It's like-
Question, when you go into a space where you can resolve a quest,
Yes.
can you reinforce in that space as well?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So the other cool thing about the companions is they also create their own events dynamically. So if you get Barrett, he'll do stuff, some events will pop up, and if you don't get him, he'll do other things.
Now, I gain 2 spirit at the end of every turn, right?
At the end of every turn.
I thought we did.
No, what are you talking about?
I don't know, I'm crazy. Okay.
You get it for doing those heroic actions every time.
That's what I'm thinking of, okay.
Okay.
I'm just used to doing heroic actions all the time.
So those hexagons are displaced.
So like here's an example.
Think you're able to move anybody you want.
It's obviously
I'm
small
done.
on my phone, but
Hang on,
so it'll
Skull
have the
time.
main quest and the side quests. Okay.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry.
Black line.
Not skull time.
One of the things we're doing
I've been
is-
gaining 6 warriors. I don't want to waste my movement here. Okay, now, okay.
Skull time. Skull time.
Skull time.
You cleanse there, which I think.
Ready, folks?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No event.
Right? Okay.
Yes. No rain of skulls.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to move
It's just
1,
loading
2,
really slowly,
3.
what's that
So
for?
cleansing is then removing those spells. Questing is if you
I'm
want.
going
I
to
think it's a memory. Okay.
sacrifice my.
You don't need to sacrifice it.
Oh, I don't need to.
No, that's
Use it.
permanent, unless it says discard on it.
Well, I'm at the hero, the quest.
Oh, to do the quest. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna get
Okay,
the
so you're gonna
companion.
discard that.
I'm gonna discard that, and I get the companion.
All right. So give him Barrat.
And then each one I'm going to give you.
Barrat's experiment is complete. It is a spell for fast movement. Take Barrat the Magus, I almost said it wrong. Magus as a companion. All right. I don't know, is it not working?
I have an apprentice.
Does he look like an apprentice?
It kind of does.
Which is called virtue. Yep. You're able to take strong.
Yeah, it's very apprentice-like.
Something's not right
I
there.
think you're also able to like earn different skill sets.
Bring on the magic
There's
foes.
also treasures. that you
I'm
can
ready.
Add to your board. So, this
So yeah, I guess it's time to
ability.
drop a skull.
And this is another permanent ability that
A skull for you, sir.
Continuously.
Skulls for all my friends.
Has that been?
But it says when it's all right.
Skulls go.
Was it say your current kingdom?
Yes.
That's
I
where
know
your
what you're
hero
gonna
is.
ask.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
So my next question is,
This is wherever it falls.
Yeah, whatever kingdom it comes out of is where you have to.
when
Oh,
it
'cause
comes
it
out,
came out-
not
Because it
where
bounced into
lands.
my
It's
kingdom.
where it comes out, not where it
All
lands.
right, so these need to go here.
You just got
Did
a
you
fountain.
move over to a different kingdom?
It bounced like into my kingdom.
Oh, but he's not in his own
You're
kingdom.
able
Yeah.
to distribute the skulls depending on what on the spaces that you have
Like
available.
it's,
Right, so it just depends. Like this is your quadrant.
Yes.
This is
This
this
is-
quadrant, but in Shroud.
I didn't want to go back to that bazaar anyway. They had
They don't have Wi-Fi or anything.
anything for
Most
me.
important thing.
So we did have an event. The black mark pulses. The warriors around you know what it means. Oh dear.
I already have 2 corruption.
Playtest is over, guys.
You did
I
great.
killed this.
I think this is game over. Actually,
Hope you enjoyed your time.
we can fudge it. It's all right. The black mark pulses. The warriors around you know what it means and flee in terror. The player with the black mark loses 3 warriors. Oh, actually, no, we're okay. For every skull on or adjacent to their space.
Oh, so none.
But if you were had
need to get rid
one,
of
then
these.
you would have. So remember, you can always spend 1 spirit to
know.
give that.
So we lose the game if
Well,
somebody
because
ends.
if he
someone
had
ends-
had a skull on his space, he would have had to lose 3 warriors. He doesn't have 3 warriors, so he would lose 2 and gain a corruption.
Corruption.
But he has
And
2
2
corruptions.
corruptions,
If
so
you gain your 3rd
Game
corruption,
against
game
you,
over.
man.
Oh no, Dan! How can you heal that?
I could I'll spend a spirit to give it to one of you guys next turn.
That's
We
right.
have Shadow Wolf spawning.
Okay.
There's a whole get a stack because they come in packs.
Oh, man.
All right, in the west, in the Weeping Waters in the Idrin Forest. That's over there, west. Weeping Waters in the Idrin Forest.
I'm on the Weeping Waters. Oh, by the
Oh
way,
yeah, we can remove that. Thank you.
Are they all the same level or?
Yep. And then in the south, we have the Sands of Madness, Ulamel's Hollow, and the Little Sister.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Jeez.
Little sister.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. So that's kind of our pack foe. We have different levels of foes. This is just one suite of foes, but that sort of behave differently.
Wait,
Let
leave
us
your
create
kingdom
different
and
types
see
of
what
games.
happens, man.
So the wolves come in
just kinda
packs,
just shit,
which make it
doesn't
harder to move around the board sometimes too.
It was in pack of 3s. It's like packs of 2 or 3.
3, yeah, whatever we set it at.
Okay.
All right, so the tower is getting ready to rotate. Hopefully this will work.
Oh, you can't see it.
Those are Dan's.
oh, I see.
It rotates
Yeah,
each
each
level.
level rotates separately. Yeah.
Dudes, that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know what you did to the tower, man.
All right, so give him those skulls. There's that one there too. Dan's
So it
gotta
fell
deal with
here,
it. Yeah,
right?
those. She's got 2
In
to
that
deal with.
kingdom, yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
I love the way you thought about it bouncing around the board. Like,
All
Well,
right,
I mean,
I gotta do that
have
sound
you played
thing
the
too.
Fireball Island?
So what
like,
happens
it's
when?
where
Like, is it when
goes
the
up.
entire
Yeah.
quadrant is filled with skulls we lose?
Barat the Magus casts a spell. The player with Barat may move a foe or player to any other space. So you could move yourself out of that space if you want to.
That's probably what I'm
This pace has 3 skulls.
Oh yeah, you could go over there and cleanse.
Yeah, and Dan's
then
pretty
cleanse
far
off
away.
another citadel. We're just in time. The next event is give the black marked token to the player
so-
going next.
Right now it's
Yeah.
So,
So is that flip, I think?
So I'm gonna move here.
what's up?
Whose turn? Who just went?
I just
You did.
Oh, so it's your. So you get the black mark now.
No, it's not cool. Okay, so that was amazing. I'm just kind of blown away by the tower, the components, the gameplay looks solid. I really can't wait to play that again.
Yeah, I think that it looked pretty interesting. I especially like the way that they upgraded the tower, made the changes that they made with the removable doors.
Yep.
The multiple levels rotating, and then using the skulls using the tower as a kind of a dice tower for the skulls.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting too.
I
Unexpected.
mean, the tower itself is much more interactive than the original.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do kind of miss the actual, like, all the rotation on the 3 levels occurs within the shell of the tower.
Yeah.
I do miss the actual physical rotation, but that was always one of the clunkier aspects of the original game. I think it's a very deeply cooperative game.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
you don't want to play this game with someone that likes to go after you every game you play.
Sure. Yeah, you really need to be cooperating because I'm just in that run through. You guys kind of got your butts kicked. I
Yeah.
think,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
you needed every bit of resources and cooperation that you could to get it to work.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be a challenging game, I think, too.
I'm really excited about the extra mini pack that they're going to include in the Kickstarter. Just from a hobbyist standpoint, I definitely remember that original dragon mini from the original game. Ended up in my toy box with my other toys when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just really impressed.
So when did they say it comes to Kickstarter?
It comes in January.
January of 2020.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and like I mentioned earlier, like, you can definitely feel Rob Daviau and Isaac Childress's stamp on this game. Like, just in general, I kind of got a very Gloomhaven-y vibe from some of the like the character upgrade capability. I'm really curious to see how the mobile app that controls the tower and kind of guides the gameplay evolves. It was a very rudimentary design.
Yeah, that was definitely. He did say it was the beta, and
Yeah.
that they're already making pretty big changes, I think, to the interface. In the
Oh,
next
absolutely,
versions.
absolutely. But yeah, no, this has been one of the most anticipated games that I've had for the last year since I found out about it, and having actually got to sit down and play with some of it, I mean, it's actually exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I'd have to say that I'm really impressed with what Restoration Games is doing, and with this game in particular. They could have just taken it as it was and re-implemented it and set it back out, and people would have bought it for nostalgia, but probably not played it, I think. Not as much, anyway.
Right.
And this is going to be a totally new experience. I'm glad that it's returned to. It's
Yeah,
not,
it is not a remake.
It's not a remake.
It's not a remake. Just
It's a-
we can't stress that enough. This is not a remake of the
It's a lot
game.
different than the original.
I
but
believe they
it's
got
definitely
the
a spiritual
rights.
successor.
Yeah, they got the rights to the name. They don't have the rights to, like, the sound effects or even the original pieces or the original board. It is very different, but
They don't need that, I don't
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
to succeed.
agreed. I mean, even if it was called something else, it would be an amazing game.
Yeah. So, yep, it's going to be great.